In humanity's journey to explore planet Earth's secrets, it was easy to notice the highest peaks above sea level, like Mount Everest, which stands at an impressive height of 8,848 meters. However, discovering the deepest point on Earth was never as straightforward, even though thousands managed to climb Mount Everest and reach its summit. There's no limit to how high one can ascend, but reaching the Earth's deepest point is an entirely different story. The deepest point on Earth is the Mariana Trench, a trench that resembles the letter V, located in the western Pacific Ocean near the Mariana Islands. To reach the deepest point within the trench from the ocean's surface, you would have to descend to a staggering depth of up to 10 kilometers. To put this number into perspective, imagine taking Mount Everest and submerging it in the trench. The result is that the entire mountain would vanish beneath the ocean's surface, with a substantial portion of it submerged to a depth of over 2 kilometers. For decades, it was believed to be impossible for anyone to reach this depth, with belief that there is no existence of any form of marine life. However, the information revealed by the deep-sea Challenger expedition completely transformed our understanding of the ocean's depths. In this episode, we're discussing the deepest place on Earth, the Mariana Trench. In an expedition dedicated to ocean studies and exploration, the British research vessel HMS Challenger embarked on a 4-year mission beginning in 1872. During this voyage, the ship covered a distance of 112,000 kilometers. To measure the ocean's depths, the crew employed a system that utilized extremely long ropes with markings for depth determination, with a massive metal weight attached to the end. With every meter, approximately 25 kilometers traversed by the ship, the crew begins to cast this rope into the water, letting it descend until the metal reaches the bottom. Through the measurement markings on the rope, they start to determine the depth of the place they are in. Despite the difficulty of the task, it was the only way back then to measure the depths of the oceans. As the ship reached the western Pacific Ocean near the Mariana Islands, an exceptional surprise awaited both the ship's crew and the world. When they let go of the rope, they were astonished to see it continue descending deep into the water for an unexpectedly long distance compared to all the other areas the ship had passed during its journey. After the rope's length had reached nearly 8,000 meters in the water, the metal weight finally struck the seabed. At that time, nobody in the entire world could fathom that the ocean could reach such astonishing depths. Scientists were driven to madness with questions about the nature of this place, its formation, and whether there might be any marine life at such depths. It was extremely challenging to answer any of these questions given the limited tools and technology available at the time. The exploratory campaign of the ship HMS Challenger marked the beginning of modern oceanography and provided the first glimpses into horizons that were far beyond the world's perspective. It managed to offer the very first accurate map of the depths, revealing the existence of underwater mountains and vast flat plains that extended for hundreds of meters before leveling out. What's even more fascinating is that in the western Pacific Ocean near the Mariana Islands, the slope didn't end once it reached the plain. Instead, it descended again into a deep trench for a distance of up to 8,000 meters below the ocean's surface. This image completely revolutionized our understanding of the ocean depths. Furthermore, it opened up possibilities for contemplating the existence of life at these depths, even though the idea was deemed impossible at the time. After 75 years, answers began to emerge gradually about the nature of this place. In 1951, a British research ship returned to the Mariana Trench, armed with more advanced tools for depth measurement, including sonar technology. The results were astonishing, as it revealed that the indentations in the ocean floor were not small pits or holes, but part of a massive trench extending for 1,550 kilometers in length and 96 kilometers in width. Moreover, the depth that the HMS Challenger had reached was not the trench's ultimate depth. Instead, at the southern tip of the trench, there was a descent of another 3 kilometers to become the deepest point in the trench, and consequently, the deepest point on Earth. This part of the trench was named the Challenger Deep in honor of the ship that discovered it. Despite the vital information provided by the ship, it also raised questions that remained unanswered. One of the most crucial questions was whether there was any form of marine life at this depth. The first hint towards an answer to this question came through a Soviet expedition in 1958 when they revealed the presence of abundant marine life at depths exceeding 7,000 meters below the sea's surface. Beside the discovery of various types of bacteria and microscopic organisms, a significant finding was the presence of a large number of fish and entirely unknown creatures to humanity at the time, which were famously referred to as sea monsters. However, scientists were not content with these results and decided to descend themselves into the trench to obtain a more precise picture. Yet, reaching the deepest point on Earth was thousands of times harder than climbing the highest peak. The reason being that any human descending to such depths faces the challenge of extremely high pressure, exceeding 1,000 times the pressure at the surface. In 1960, a Swiss scientist named Jacques Piccard, assisted by his father Auguste Piccard in designing the vessel used for the mission, along with American colleague Don Walsh, managed to descend to a depth of nearly 11 kilometers in a deep-sea submersible called Trieste. This remarkable achievement allowed the researchers about 20 minutes to explore the deepest point on Earth. During this brief period, they confirmed the existence of marine life, fish, and bizarre creatures living without any apparent struggle in the extraordinary conditions of the surrounding environment at such depths. However, even with this confirmation of unknown species of marine life in the depths, the expedition had more mysteries to unfold. Years after the expedition concluded, the records of Swiss scientist Jacques Piccard about the mission were revealed, including a strange observation. During their descent to the trench, they encountered a massive, cylindrical-shaped creature that seemed to be following their vessel. It moved around the submersible, as if it was curious about them. However, after a few minutes of observation, it disappeared without anyone knowing the nature of this creature. Some later speculated that it might belong to an undiscovered aquatic civilization far more advanced than any we knew. The mysteries of the trench resurfaced in 1985 when the American research vessel Knorr conducted an experiment near the Mariana Trench. While deploying a deep-sea probe, they recorded strange sounds through the probe's steel cables. These sounds were so powerful that they began to pull the cables with such force that it impeded the probe's movement entirely. It was as if something living at a depth of 10,000 meters was attacking the probe. The researchers hastily pulled the device to the surface, and upon inspection, they discovered bite marks on the equipment. The crew of the ship was filled with dread at the sight. Officially, the incident was attributed to the probe colliding with underwater mountains. Still, many on board the ship at the time were convinced that something else was behind the attack, especially considering the visible muscle marks found on the probe. Following this event, a peculiar theory emerged among biologists, suggesting that the only living creature capable of causing such damage at such depths was the megalodon, a giant extinct shark species that could reach lengths of up to 22 meters, equivalent to a 7-story building, and weighed about 45 tons. This shark was believed to have been extinct for over 1.5 million years. The idea put forward by biologists wasn't baseless. It was supported by the discovery of a tooth of a large extinct shark species, found to be nearly the size of an adult human hand. After performing tests on this tooth, it was confirmed to belong to the megalodon. Consequently, this raised the possibility that there might be living specimens of this ancient creature hidden away from human eyes in the depths of the ocean. Years later, a Japanese cargo ship near the Mariana Trench experienced a catastrophic descent into the trench's depths due to a sudden drop in buoyancy. The incident occurred despite calm weather and the absence of any rocky obstacles in the area. Whether you believe that extinct creatures live in the trench or not, this event indicated the presence of remarkable deep-sea creatures capable of thriving under the extreme pressures and pitch-black darkness of the abyss. This notion was further supported by the Japanese remotely operated submersible Keiko, which was sent to reach the trench's deepest point. During its mission from 1995 to 2003, it managed to identify over 350 different species of marine life between 1995 and 2003, shedding light on life at depths that ranged from nearly 7,000 meters to 11,000 meters beneath the ocean's surface. Canadian filmmaker James Cameron became the second person to make a human descent to the trench's deepest point in the submersible deep-sea Challenger, which he had a hand in designing. He documented his journey in a documentary film titled Deep Sea Challenge. In conclusion, our understanding of the Mariana Trench has unveiled a world of wonder and intrigue. Its formation is closely tied to the movements of tectonic plates, resulting in deep trenches when plates converge. Over the past 50 million years, the Pacific Plate has slid beneath the Philippine Plate, giving rise to the Mariana Trench. But does its existence serve as a reminder that our planet still holds secrets, even in this age of space exploration, where new planets and distant galaxies are discovered? With our limited knowledge of the oceans, which make up only about 10% of the Earth's surface, can we finally explore and uncover the full extent of the world's oceans? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates and exciting discoveries.